All right, today's date is 1/30/23. We're doing distance, speed, and time, day 100. David, I need you writing this down. Christopher, we're writing this down. The title, the date. So magnificent. Nice. All right, distance, speed, and time, day 2. Okay, so we have our triangle that we made on Thursday. You can also draw your triangle in your notebook. What's the letter that goes on top? D. Divided by what? S times T. Should have drawn it bigger. Next period I'll draw it a lot bigger. And the reason we use this triangle, kind of like the Dorito man, is whatever you're solving for, you're going to cover up the letter. So if I'm solving for distance, I cover up the D for distance. And this gives me my formula, speed times time. What if I'm solving for time? What letter do I cover up? The T. So if I cover up the T, what's the formula for time? D divided by S, right? So this wonderful triangle allows us to solve for all three, distance, speed, and time. Hopefully, a lot easier. All right. So, let's see. Let's say Maria traveled 450 miles for 10 hours. What do you think the question's going to be? Maria traveled 450 miles for 10 hours. What do you think the question will be? How what?
How fast?
Yeah. How fast was she going? Question mark. All right, so what's the key words that tell you what you're solving for? How fast. And how fast, what am I solving for with how fast? Speed. If I look back at the notes we took on Thursday, remember this, the ones in quotation marks? How far, how fast. So when you read how fast, you're solving for speed. So, go back. So if I have my triangle, what letter do I cover up? S. So you're solving for speed, right? You're solving for speed, so I'm going to cover up the S. What does it tell me to do? D divided by T. So I'm solving for speed, and when I use my triangle tells me to do D divided by T because this line means division. So D divided by T. All right. Go back to the problem. What is my distance? 450. So this is my distance. Now, Yahaira and everybody, I'm going to ask you to take 5 seconds of your life and write down the unit. It's going to pay off later. So don't just write 450. Write 450 miles. Write the unit. It's going to help us later. Okay, divided by. What's my time in my problem? 10 hours. All right, so this is the math. This is me showing work. 450 miles divided by 10 hours. Does everybody understand why the 450 goes on top and the 10 goes on the bottom, Carolina? Yes, woohoo. All right. So what's 450 divided by 10?
45.
What is it?
45.
Very good, 45. Now, if I write my answer 45, am I going to get the points? No. What is missing? Yes. Why is it miles per hour? Yep. And?
10 hours.
Yep. Do any of these words repeat? Does miles repeat on the bottom? No. Does hours repeat on the top? No. So do you see how there's no words that repeat? So then you write every single word. So miles. What does this line mean? Per. And then what's this bottom word? Hours. So there's no words that repeat, so I get to use every single word in my problem. Miles per hour. These are my units. She traveled at a speed of 45 miles per hour. Super not fast. Super not fast. All right, are we okay? All right. So units is muy importante. All right. Here we go. Valerie ran at a speed of 6 miles per hour for 3 hours. Okay, Valerie ran at a speed of 6 miles per hour for 3 hours. Wow, she must be tired. What kind of question am I going to ask you? Yes. How far did she go? How far did she go? Okay. What am I solving for? Yeah, so this, how far. When you read how far, you're solving for distance, okay? So whenever you read how far, you're solving for distance. All right, so what letter do I cover up? The D on my triangle. So I'm covering up the D on my triangle. So D is equal to S times T. Yes, question? No, we're good? What's my speed? Go back to the problem. What's my speed?
6 miles per hour.
All right, write it down. You're going to write 6 mph. Write down the units. If you write down the units, it's easier to plug them into your answer later. Times, what's my time?
3
3
hours.
hours. All right. Okay. Do any of the words, abbreviations, repeat here and here? What repeats? Hours. So do you guys see how they both have the H's for hours? They're not spelled out, but this H stands for hours and this abbreviation stands for hours. So do you see how they repeat? Guess what happens when they repeat? Cross them out. Okay? If they repeat, you cross them out. So what is 6 times 3? 6 times 3? 18. Now, what words did not repeat?
Miles.
M. M stands for miles. The per gets eliminated with the multiplication sign. So, our distance, she traveled a total distance of 18 miles. It's a lot. All right. Which one do I... Oh, okay. Hope. What did Hope do? Hope walked for 20 miles at a speed of 2 miles per hour. Sorry. I hope you all know how to spell miles. Okay. Hope walked for 20 miles at a speed of 2 miles per hour. So she's just taking a nice stroll on the weekend. 2 miles per hour. It's cool. It's super slow, right? Because when you guys run the mile, 1 mile takes you how many minutes? 5. Really? You go into PE and you run a 5-minute mile.
I think you half a
No, a mile. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? So she's doing 2 miles in an hour. So she's going really fast or really slow?
Slow.
Super slow. She's just, she's walking the dog. She's walking Rocky. It's going to take her 2 miles per hour. All right. What question am I going to ask you? This one's tricky.
speed.
A speed is 2 miles per hour.
Time.
Distance is 20 miles.
Time. Speed. Time.
Speed is there. So we're solving for time. How long does it take her? Okay. So another way of determining what you're solving for is, what do they give you? 20 miles is distance, so you're not solving for distance. 2 miles per hour, that's a speed, so you're not solving for speed. What's the only thing that's left? Is time. So that's another way of doing it. All right. So how long stands for time. All right, cover up the T. Cover up the T. What do you get? Cover up the T. What do we get? Distance divided by S. All right, plug in your numbers. What's my distance? 20 miles, and thank you for saying miles, divided by, what's my speed? 2 miles per hour. This one has like the 3 words in it. All right, so my time is equal to, what's 20 divided by 2? 10. And then what words repeat? Miles, miles. This line means per and per. So what's left over? Hours. So her time is 10 hours. So it took her 10 hours. Totally possible. It took her 10 hours over a week. That makes more sense. All right. Are we okay? All right. So go back to this worksheet that no one finished. And I asked you to skip number 4, right?
Yeah.
All right. How many are you finished with the front side? With units. So you have the correct units on there? Double check your units. All right, cool. Is anybody done with the back side? All right. So we're working on it. Front and back. Please use your notes. Please use the triangle. Please go slow on the units. What is Miss Lamelli grading? The units. All right. Let's pause this.